Now, animals, nervous system in animals. So, such control and coordination are provided by the nervous and muscular tissues. Nervous tissues are involved in the functioning of our brain and central nervous system also. Because with the help of these nervous tissues, we can get to know that the object is very hot. And with the help of the muscular tissues, we can pull our hand back. So here when we pull our hand back, so here is the movement involved in our hand like this. So muscular tissues are working there. So this is about the coordination between these two types of tissues, that is nervous and muscular tissues. And yes, we are controlling hands. So this is all about control and coordination. I hope the introduction of chapter is clear to you. Now, a question arises that how do we detect that we are touching an object? We are touching an object which is very hot. How do we get to know? Let's see. So this is the structure of a neuron. So a neuron comprises of the dendrite. Dendrites are the tree-like structure or have some branches. And the main part, the main body or the cell body of the neuron. This is the cell body of the neuron. Now, this is the axon part which is present here or which connects the cell body to rest of the parts of the neuron. So, here Schwann cells are present and they are enveloped or protected by the myelin sheath which acts as an insulator. Because of them, insulator or insulation function can be established. It is made up of some fat tissues or fat cells which provide actually the insulation. Now, here is the gap. These gaps, these form the node of Ranvier. And at the end part, some tree-like branches or terminal end is known as axon terminal. Here, axon terminal or this can be named as synapse. So, the synapse part is present here and another neuron or next neuron is connected from this part of the previous neuron. So, for example, this is a synapse or the last part or the terminal part of a neuron. Another neuron comes in contact with this neuron. So, it is joined like its dendrite, like this structure. So, dendrite structure comes in contact with the last part of the first neuron. This is how the neuron is connected to another neuron. Now, here is an example or an image to show you the coordination between two neurons. So, here if you could see, the dendrites are present. So, this is how the electric signals or impulses which are generated by the previous neuron get transmitted to another neuron because two neurons are connected to each other. Similarly, there is a network of many neurons in our body which are interconnected. Now, come to the structure and function of the neurons. This is the cell body. So, it is also known as soma. This inner part is the nucleus. Let me show you that this shaded part is the cell body or soma, and this is the nucleus present inside the soma or the cell body. Now, These tree-like structures are the dendrites, which basically receive messages or impulses from the other cells. Now, this is the axon part which goes here. Now, axon passes messages away from the cell body to other neurons, which could be muscles and glands also. Now, the action potential is generated in this direction, in the forward direction, because impulses or signals need to be traveled in this direction from one neuron to another. So, the action potential is generated, because of which the electrical signal travels down the axon. Now, myelin sheath, as we have discussed, that covers the axon of some neurons and helps speed up the neural impulses or signals or messages. Now, these terminals are known as terminal buttons or axon terminals or synapse. Now, this is another neuron. From here, another neuron continues, and another neuron is connected from the previous neuron with the help of the tree-like structures, which are dendrite, or the structures which are present in the front part of a neuron. So, basically dendrites attach from another neuron. The dendrite part of this neuron and axon terminal part of the previous neuron. When they come in contact with each other, when they join together, this is how they establish connection with each other. So, there are basically two types of receptors. Number one, gustatory receptors, and another is olfactory receptors. So, gustatory receptors are present to detect the taste, and olfactory receptors are present to detect the smell. Now, come to the image which shows neuromuscular junction. The term itself clears that what's the meaning of neuromuscular junction. So, here neuro means neurons and muscular means muscles. How the neurons are connected or come in contact with the cells present in the muscles or receptors, so that we can give response, we can show response against it or the stimuli. So, this is a myelin sheath, which we have just seen, that myelin sheath covers the axon part and it gives the insulation. Now, this is the axon part, this is the covering which is made up of myelin sheath or the fat cells. So, these are the vesicles containing neurotransmitters. So, neurotransmitters are the chemicals which are important to carry out the process of signals or nerve impulses or the transmission of nerve impulses. To transmit the signals or impulses, some chemicals are required. Those chemicals are known as neurotransmitters. Now, here the muscle cell is shown here in this red part, and over the muscle cell some receptors are present, which could be any of the glands also. For example, if something from the environment or the surrounding triggers our body or the cell surface, so that stimuli or that substance which basically triggers our body is known as stimulus or stimuli. Stimulus is singular and stimuli is plural. So, that stimulus when triggers our skin, then basically our body shows reaction. So, the neurons are basically come in contact or they remain in contact with our skin surface. The neurons are connected here, which immediately get the signals or impulses and the stimulus or the stimuli when they trigger our body surface. That stimulus can easily be detected by the neurons present near the body surface, and accordingly they show reaction. They transmit some nerve impulses and we get to know the message come in reverse, and accordingly we show response. For example, When we touch an object which is very hot, we pull our hand back. So this is our response which is shown against the stimulus, that is the hot object or the hot things.